What's good, everyone? Coach D here with the Shift Method. Got another YouTube video for all of you. This is gonna be a cool one. We're gonna go over how to get your first muscle up. I'm gonna go over, of course, a lot of it has some anecdotal stuff to it, right? That I've noticed with my own training and working with people who are into calisthenics, but what's required to do it, breaking up the different phases of how to do your muscle up, and actually go over some strategies on how you can train to actually get to your first muscle up. So breaking it down phase by phase. So let's jump right into it. Okay, so first let's break down what is the muscle up, how to do it. So the best way I explain it is the muscle up is like an explosive version of the pull up. Of course, you gotta kind of master the pull up first a little bit to then transition to this, but you don't have to do 30, 40 pull-ups in a row in order to be able to get one muscle up. There's a lot of technique involved, which we're gonna break down. I kind of think about the muscle up in three main phases. The first one is the initial pull, right? Just the ability to actually generate enough force and pull yourself upward to where you can get close to the bar. The second, and in my opinion, the most important part is the transition. Going from pulling yourself up to the bar to then getting your upper chest or your chest onto the bar to where you're actually flipping your wrist and getting yourself to clear it. And then lastly is the vertical dip. Being able to actually be on top of the bar and push yourself up into that fully extended position to complete the movement. So let's break down those three right now. And again, this is gonna be a kipping muscle up, so I am using a little bit of momentum, but of course not absurd. So that first part is that initial pull, right? I need to pull myself up and close enough to where my chest almost clears the bar. So here's that initial pull, right? I got my position, arms are gonna be flexed a little bit, momentum forward, clear the bar. Notice how, like a traditional pull, I'm not stopping in my chin, I'm pulling myself, almost clearing the bar up to my stomach. Check it out, I'll do a couple. So you see how I'm getting my chest almost over the bar, okay? Second part, the transition. So once I clear the bar, I have to get myself to it. And so I can rest on the bar and finish the movement. So now let me show you that transition part. See how I flip and push myself on the bar so that I can finish it. One more time. So making sure that your wrist, although you want to be strong on the way up, you have to flip your wrist and get yourself onto the bar so you can stick and stay there. And then last part, to finish it, the vertical dip. Just essentially pushing yourself, extending those elbows, and locking out the movement. So now we're gonna go over some progressions on how you can actually get there. First and foremost, like I said, this is anecdotal, but what I've noticed is if you can do 10 strict pull-ups, you probably have enough strength to actually complete the movement. You just gotta build some technique and practice some of these movements we're gonna break down here. And again, what I mean by a strict pull-up, just gonna demonstrate real quick. Meaning you can clear the bar, ideally close to your chest, and then making sure you get full extension at the bottom. So let me show you a couple reps. So again, it has to be overhand, right? The muscle up is primarily an overhand movement, so get comfortable with that grip. Just outside shoulder width. I'm gonna do strict here, so legs are crossed, arms are straight, up and down. And if you're struggling with this, you can start doing some assisted pull-ups. You can use a band, you can use a partner, whatever you gotta do. But I'd say if you got to get the 10 strict ones first, and that should be a good foundation strength-wise, to then progress to the other movements that we got here. The next exercise we're going to do is what I call a power-up. It's kind of like that first phase of the muscle-up where you're going to pull yourself as high as you can over the bar. Don't worry about your wrists. Don't worry about getting the full movement. Just use your momentum to explode all the way up as high as you can. In every rep, use momentum to constantly get higher and higher. Let me show you what that looks like. I'm gonna get a little bit of a swing going forward. I'm gonna come back and get up as high as I can. Once you feel like you start losing the momentum and you're no longer getting like up to your chest, it starts going below your chin, it starts getting hard, take a break, reset, and do the set again. Again, the goal is to generate as much force so you get about your chest or a little bit higher over the bar. Okay, so you got the basis of the power up down. I'd say if you can get to about 5 to 10 of those consistently, where you feel like you can get your chest a little bit lower over the bar, that's a good start now breaking down the movement, okay? Next is gonna be an assisted muscle up. There's 3 ways you could do this. You can do a band, you can have a box underneath you to where you can do like a jumping muscle up, or you can have a partner stand by your side and help you go up. I find the band the easiest to do just because you may not have a partner, you may not have a box available or a bar low enough, but if you have a band or your gym has one, you should be good to go. So, you wanna get the band around one of your feet, get it on the middle of your foot, and the other foot is gonna cross over. Or if you want, you can also rest on the side, but you can also cross them as well. Now you're gonna do exactly what you just did, or what you saw me in the beginning. I'm gonna actually try and get the muscle up, and the band is gonna help propel me upward. So let's check it out. So you notice it was a lot easier for me to do that because I had a lot of assistance from the band. And now it's easy because I'm building up that resistance on the way up. And again, you can use a heavy band, you can double up on the bands. There's a lot of different ways you can give yourself quite a bit of resistance to help you out. So you just have to find a band that's appropriate for you. Now the next one's kind of an optional step. I personally had to do this because that transition from the power pull up to actually getting myself over the bar with an assisted muscle up, I had a disconnect there. So this could be a step that you use in between those two, or as you're finally getting ready to do your first muscle up. I call it the single arm or the unilateral muscle up, where you're gonna get one side over first just to catch yourself, and then you can muscle up the other arm, because sometimes it's hard to get both at the same time. So let me show you what that looks like. So let's say you're going through your practicing, everything's going well, and you're like, crap, I just can't get it. So it looks kind of like this. And you can't get it, right? You keep hitting the bar, you're high, but that transition just isn't happening for you. Try it with one wrist at a time. Even if you miss it, right? It could look like this. Just getting used to getting one side over, and I guarantee you eventually when you get used to flipping that wrist, you're gonna hit it. So check it out. And that's kind of how they start out. They're tough, they're a grind, they don't look clean, but you're over the bar, and that's what matters. So if you're struggling with that flip of the wrist, get one side first, fight for the other one, and practice getting those reps in there. And last but not least, I don't want to say this part is not important, but I think it's the easiest part to train, and that's the vertical dip. The worst thing that can happen, you get to the bar, all your hard work is done, you're at the top, and you just can't extend your arms to get up to the top. So you want to train the vertical dip. It's a lot of triceps, it's a lot of chest. So if you can get to the bar or have a low bar like a barbell, you definitely want to practice some reps of the vertical dip. So let me show you. So I start here with my arms locked out. I'm gonna bring my chest all the way down to the bar, nice and controlled. And that's it. I hope you all found this helpful. And hey, be sure if this actually did help you get your first muscle up, or as you're going through some of those steps and training tips, show them to me. You can send them in my DMs. You can tag me in a video. I want to see all that awesome work that y'all do. But as always, you can find me on Instagram at @the_shift_method. Daily content there for all of you for some fun education. And of course, make sure if you enjoy this video, be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. We got videos every other Monday and the podcast on the Mondays that we don't drop those. You can always head to theshiftmethod.org. We got training templates, we got individualized coaching, we got free action plans, and of course, you can cop some merch on the store. But I hope to see y'all again. Have a great day.